Hey, I wanted to share something with you that I had in my mind for like 3 weeks already, and I wanted to share it with you because it keeps sticking in my head and it makes a great influence on my life and a really positive one. And I just wanted to share this with you. So, I'm kind of a person who. So, I never really read about something like this before, but maybe there are psychologists or philosophers who have similar thoughts like me. I think there's something in um, science that I'm not 100% sure. I remember, like, I was reading a book of Stephen Hawking, and they talked about the whole thing with if there's like a I can't speak English. Ah, there's like this basic concept of if a butterfly is swinging their wings, is it influencing a natural disaster on the other place on the earth? Like, does everything that we do correlates and influences something on the world? And I can't really say something about this like theory, or I don't know if it's even a theory. There's probably more to it. I know it sounds pretty fucking insane. Sounds like made up stuff, but there's like real scientists researching on that. It's probably a little bit more difficult. I have to read more into this to figure out. I actually want to read a lot of philosophy and psychology books. I want to read stuff about Platon, Platon, and Aristoteles, and I'm reading right now Nietzsche. You know, I also want to read books like Lolita. I want to read a lot of more books to broaden my perspective. But I was thinking about that and about this theory, and I was realizing that I'm pretty convinced. I can't really prove it, but I'm gonna give you some examples why I think like that. That every little thing we do in our lives has an influence on a lot of more stuff than we would think, and probably has an influence on everybody. And I don't mean influence in a like crazy way where like when we think influence we think like, oh, we have a big impact in somebody's life and this person is starting to think about us. Like, of course a stranger can't think about us because they don't know us. But this is not really what I mean. And already having those thoughts in your head can improve your life so much because you realize that you are a much more important person than you might think. And it's not really a saying like, oh, like we are, everybody is famous. We are not, everybody is famous. Some people are famous, some are not famous. But I think the decisions we make in life and how we live our lives is influencing other people and the whole world much more than we think. So, a really basic example would be consumerism. So, if someone is using a lot of plastic in their lives, everybody who's doing that has an influence on climate change. And it influences how future generations are going to live on this planet. So this is obvious. And I mean, we look at this number and we don't consider ourselves in this because we think if everybody is not doing it, well, me as an individual, I can't make a difference. So I'm just being like everybody else. This is what a lot of people do, you know? But I don't think it's actually true. Like, if someone is standing up and saying like, hey, you should change your consumerism a little bit and you should be more aware how you use plastic, you can influence, like, the first thing is you are one person that influences climate in a little bit better way. So you deciding to make a difference makes a difference on climate. And it's even, you can even have this in numbers, like when you go vegan, there is a difference how much water you consume as a meat eater or as a vegan. And you even can count that up in numbers online. So that already makes a difference on Earth, but not just on Earth, but on everybody else. And not just in the way our climate is or like how well we can live on Earth in the future, but also how you approach other people. Because if you go vegan, well, most people will know that you're vegan because, like, the moment you go out eating with people, they may realize that you can't eat everything. I'm not vegan myself. I'm vegetarian, but it makes a difference. And you get into certain conversations. And I think every conversation you do, everything you say to someone has an influence and creates a certain momentum to both of you. Even if you have a conversation and you don't think about it anymore, it still makes a difference. When you had a nice conversation with someone, you may get out of the conversation in a happy mood and you're just going to be happy for the rest of the day. Even if it wasn't really an important person, getting a compliment can make your whole day different, even if it was from somebody you don't even really know. It's like when a YouTuber is doing a video and they're not getting a lot of comments, but one person is writing you a comment, that makes a difference. But you are still a small person, you are not a big channel, but I think even a person that is not famous and doesn't have a big platform has a lot of more influence on everybody on Earth than we might think. I think humanity, and I'm not talking about like energies or something. I mean, there's like spiritual stuff. I'm not like the person who believes in that stuff, but I think it's interesting to listen to that stuff as long as it's not too crazy, But we don't know we don't know everything, But I'm not even talking about like karma or something. I talk about stuff that when you think about it actually makes solely sense. Like you can prove it even. So what I mean with that is, if you clean your house, or like if you are, we all know that keeping your space tidy has a big impact on your health, on your mental health, and makes you more productive. It makes you more productive, it makes you more sane. If your house is not messy, you will have a better mindset. If you have a better mindset, you approach people differently. When you're having a good day because you have your life together, and then you should meet up a friend, you're going to be a really excited person and you're going to give like positive energy in a conversation because you have your life together and you feel good. That means that other friend will have a better experience with you and they will be also excited because, and I think I don't know if this is scientifically proven, but it's a general thing that we like to be around people who are uplifting. Because when somebody is depressed, you have to take care of them, and it can even saddening yourself if it's a really close friend you have, or lover, or a family member, your own child, your dog, whatever, So if you have your life together, you approach your friends in a totally another way, and it makes a difference. Another example, if you have your life together, I think this is a really good example. If you keep cleaning your house on a regular basis and you keep your space tidy, it will make a difference with your mind. It will make you a more productive person, and it will make you more stable in life. So, what if you're dating someone, If you don't really have your life that together, and I really like to take the example of cleaning, because sometimes, we know we have to clean our house or our room, whatever, but it's something that feels sometimes so exhausting because it's not like a project you're working on that you want to change humanity with, If you're planning to rule over the world and you're working on how to control the whole world, how to get how do I say this in English? World how to rule the whole world, and you're having your master plan, you're working on it, and then you realize, damn, it's the day of the week where I actually have to clean my whole apartment again. And then you feel like, I have to do this now, and I'm going to do this, but it feels like nothing is changing. The only thing that changes is that you have a clean apartment, but it's not something that is changing people in their emotions, that is changing somebody else. You're not changing somebody's thoughts on stuff, and that's not true, because, as I said, keeping your environment tidy, I'm just taking this as an example because I think cleaning is the best example that just is sometimes so hard to do, and you feel like it's something that is necessary to do, but there is not really meaning behind it. It's not like if you write a book, or you watch an anime, or you meeting with friends, there is nothing meaningful behind this. And this is not true. I think cleaning is much more meaningful than you think in the longer outcome. So what I mean with that, if you keep your house tidy, and you keep your workspace in a certain structure, you have a healthier mindset, and you get your work done easier. And it's not just that you get your work done easier, you already are more interested in being productive. You are less, the messier your room is, the higher is the chance that you procrastinate. The more you procrastinate, the chances are higher that you go on social media, and then every time you go on social media, you consume certain stuff, and everything that you consume is doing, your whole brain has to process the information. So you have random information in your head, maybe too much information because you're too much on social media. Your brain has to process that. I don't know what is happening with your brain when you get dopamine kicks, and you're sitting on your phone. You see some horrible stuff on social media, and then you get angry, and then you want to talk about it with somebody, but you don't have time, and everything is fucking unstructured in your life, And now what I mean with that is, for example, when you procrastinate, it could happen that you are on your phone, or you start to think bad about yourself. You feel like your life is static. You don't have control over your life. You feel like a failure. When you feel like a failure, you want to surround yourself with stuff that makes you happy. We always strive for happiness. So, when you can create happiness in your life by yourself, by starting off with keeping your house tidy, and having when you are tiny, you are more productive, you will easily be more focused. Focus is a big thing. when you are more, and this is like the thing, we think that cleaning is not important, but it's more important than you think, you know. Or like, and we of course think that cleaning is important, but not in a like, oh, it makes me a better person, it makes me a more, I have an influence on everybody. You have an influence on everybody if you choose to tidy your room or not. You have an influence on everybody in the world. It makes a bigger difference. Think about people who are so clean. I don't want to say that everybody on social media is telling the truth, not. But people who are really tidy and they show their apartment online, they have a big influence on everybody of us, because we see them and we're like, oh, I have to be like that. They have a lot of influence, and we like to see that stuff too. This is the first thing. But now you may be like, but I'm not a social media influencer, I don't have a big following. You still have a big influence than you think. So you are procrastinating. And what if you are dating someone, or you have someone in your life that you are kind of into, and you want this person around you? When you don't have your life really together, and you're having a lot of mess in your room, you know, or like you're not having the habit of cleaning your room regularly, because it feels like not meaningful. It feels like it feels like a necessity, but not something that has a meaningful impact on your personality. And that's so true. It has a meaningful impact on you as a person and on everybody else, on everybody, I think. That sounds a little bit spiritual, but let me explain. So you are procrastinating, and you're feeling bad, you know? So there's someone in your life you are into, and you have their WhatsApp, and you are writing with them. If you are procrastinating, well, it could happen that, I don't know, maybe this person wrote you a message yesterday, and you already replied to them, but this person is not answering back. And you are sitting there and you're procrastinating, and then you go into the chat with this person and you see this person is not replying, you know? Then it could happen that because you feel so bad in your life right now, because you're procrastinating, you're running away from your duties, that you're just deciding that you really want to talk to this person because you need happiness in your life. You know, wanting to talk with someone is not just you wanting to talk with someone. It has something to do, I mean, of course you want to talk with people you like, but if you are having your shit together in life, you will approach this in a totally another way, and will not blow up people's phones when you are having your life together, you know? Or you will also not overthink what you're gonna write this person. This is another thing. And also like how you make people interested in you is a difference, you know? It depends. On one hand, I think like that certain people are meant for us because they're just like-minded people. It's not that you have to work hard to get a soulmate. Like, if you meet a soulmate, you're just on the same level as them. You know, you don't have to force friendship on someone, but certain people will be more invested in going into our lives by how we are. If you have your life together, you will attract much more people into your lives, or like the right people into your lives, you know? You will have better relationships. So what if you decide to write this person because you feel like, oh, I'm not structured. My desk was not structured, so I did the tasks I had to do on my desk. I was procrastinating for 2 hours on social media, and now I'm gonna write this person because I'm feeling such a failure that I need now a happy input. And it's not, in that moment, it's not really about the other person anymore. It's I don't even know if you really see this person. It's more that you need that this person has to give you something in your life that you feel better, because you don't have your shit together right now. And then you start to write this person. And the thing with dating is, this is what dating experts say a lot, and it's something I even kind of understand the concept of, and it is something that can make dating interesting, I'm not dating at the moment. I'm not doing that at the moment, but it's something, an energy that even I understand. This is why I talk especially about dating right now and not about friendships, because you don't really have this with friends. This whole power dynamic, when you are dating someone, and there's a certain power dynamic between us. There's a chemistry between you, but there's also like a power dynamic. A healthy one, hopefully, but like dating someone can be interesting because maybe you're even like, you should treat everybody nice, but I think it's okay to, like, when you flirt with people, then you play games with them. So you shouldn't play games by hurting someone, but in a way that you're like creating more tension in the situation and making yourself vulnerable. I think you can do this in a healthy manner. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's something you can do because it makes you more interesting. It makes the thing more fun. It can make it more interesting for the other person. And it's something I noticed, too, that if you are having your life together, you naturally will do that if you're interested in another person. In a guy, when you're a woman, you're interested in a guy or whatever, or in a girl, like I'm a heterosexual, so I'm talking about the dynamic I have with a guy I'm dating, but I don't date anyone right now, but, I don't know if I want to share that online, but I don't care. But, well, if you blow their phones up and you become a needy person, then this other person, if you become too needy, this other person will lose their interest, and this other person you date will probably lose the interest into you because they feel like you feel like you are not having your life together, and you need them to feel happy, and you're just throwing a lot of negative energy into it, and you give them the feeling there is nothing going on in your life, there's nothing exciting in your life, and it's just not interesting to them to be with you. And it's even more, they have to give you fun in your life because you can't do it in a moment. What that means is you will scare a potential partner away. And okay, so what I mean with that, I think in general, if we date the right person, dating will feel, I'm pretty convinced, if you meet the right partner, then dating will feel easy because it's the person you're meant to be with. It's not something you have to work hard for. I don't think that. I think the right soulmate should someone that just belongs into your life and it just works out. But if you are not really having your life together in a moment, well, it makes the whole situation harder, and it could happen that a possible partner will go out of your life because they just realize this person is way too needy, and this person doesn't really offers me an exciting like, they just annoy me, like, because if you don't text someone every day, you realize you create momentum, and I don't think you should force that. You can do that if you want to. I don't care how you write, but you can do that. I don't care. I think if it's fun for you if you feel like making yourself rules when you should write someone because it keeps you more structure, or like what other reason that could be, I think there's no issue with that. You can write and text someone with how you want, but I don't think you should obsess over texting. You should have a healthy 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 how do you say this, healthy relationship to texting in general, because texting is a lot more than we think, but in the same time we don't really know what is going on behind the phone of the other person, so it's a totally another thing to talk to people in real life, but I think if you have it all started because you didn't got up and structured your desk and making yourself a nice workplace to actually start. Because there would be this other life that you could have chosen, that you are keep everything tidy, you structured your desk, you were sitting down at your desk and you were doing the job or like the project you have to work on for like the whole day, and you were not even thinking about this other person right now because you were just so focused and invested into your project, because you got yourself the habit of keeping everything structured. So tidying your room makes a whole nother personality of you. And there is more to that. And I'm just taking this as an example. There is much more. Also buying your groceries. To which time on the day you buy your groceries influences your mood and also influences how fast the person at a grocery store that sells like the stuff is getting their job done. Because like if you are someone who is really structured, for example, you are giving the exact like oh gosh, my English, the exact number that you have to, like how much the exact price. If you give them the exact money for the exact price, like you are confident enough to stay there, take the time to take the right money out to pay it in the exact price that the grocery seller doesn't has to exchange money, that makes a difference, because then they can go faster on the next person who is after you. And it makes a difference. Because the more people are doing it, the lesser they have to give you money out and the faster the process goes. So you are making the process in a grocery store faster, so people get there faster into their out of the line, out of the side of the grocery. It makes a difference. It makes a small difference, if you're taking the responsibility of counting it. But it's also like it's also you being responsible for the situation. And I just think there's a lot of more going on. Like when you are having your shit together, you probably go to a certain time into the grocery store when there are not a lot of people around. So that means you have more time and you get faster out of it, so you can do more other things in your life. But also the people you pass in your life. I mean, you don't pass strangers in public and you think about them. I don't do that. Like, I just pass people, I don't recognize them. But I think the whole thing with going to the grocery store is a good example. When you go to the grocery store and you appear as someone who has like a good style because they work hard and they have like cool clothes, I don't think the person at the grocery store like thinks a lot about you, but the way you are going to treat them like as a more confident person that gives them the right money makes their life a little bit easier, so they don't have to figure out so much, so they have less struggles. So you made an impact on this person, and that means that this person could be less stressed out and could be less annoyed by other people that are at the that are buying stuff. So everybody is lesser stressed out. If you are taking control of a situation and you're taking responsibility that somebody is lesser stressed out, everybody else is more or less stressed out, you know? It's a difference. And yeah, those people are just strangers, but I think it's still a difference. And I think those small things make a difference. Because think about this, people pass people, but those people meet other people, and if they have a bad experience with a stranger in public, and that happens to everybody of us once in their life, that we get into a situation with random people that we don't really know. That happens. That can happen. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens. Well, this person has another story to tell to their family or to their friends. And those people meet also other people, so they also have another story to tell. They have a totally another experience. So the way you're handling stress influences how everybody else is handling stress. Think about a country like Japan, where everybody's overworked. The whole mentality in this country is different. When you are choosing to go to Japan, you will influence the whole system, the way you walk in Shibuya. Like, think about like that. When you are in Shibuya and you are at the big crossroad, I think is the name, the Shibuya cross thing. When you are not used to walking there, you will get into everybody's way. So those people have to think how to go around you to go at the exact right time to their jobs. It makes a difference. And you were the one choosing to fly so far. So I'm not saying that you were the world leader over Japan. No, I'm not saying this, but people pass people. And I think we deliver certain mannerisms to everybody else because everybody is seeing someone else. So going back to the whole, oh my gosh, I'm talking so much about this, but I just think it makes the small things you change in your life make an impact how you approach people, and it makes an influence on everybody, even if it's not your friends. You know, in friends is of course even a bigger influence because we care about them, you know. And your friends meet other friends. They meet family members. Those family members go to work and influence their colleagues. So everybody's influencing everybody. So imagine if you would have focused on this project and you were so focused that you were caring more about the project than actually writing this other person. And you're not choosing to write because you just have so much going on in your life. Well, this other person that you may date may be more interested into you because they realize like, oh, this person didn't wrote me. I wonder what this person is doing in their life. And then they may send you a message and you may reply to it on the next day or something. And this other person will be more invested into you because they feel like there's something going on in your life. They can feel, you can tell them, like, even if you tell them small things like, I structured my desk like this to keep my project done, you know, that already makes you a cool person, kinda. And it just gives people a good feeling, you know. So chances are much higher you will be attractive to someone, you know. Because if you have your life together and you are not, this is something in general, we like people. I think everybody can agree on that. You know, everybody likes bad guys and baddies, bad girls. Nobody likes the nice guy. We want kind-hearted people in our lives, but we don't want nice people in our lives. I think everybody agrees with that. And you have to be aware when you don't want a nice guy or nice girl in your life, a person that is just nice, you shouldn't be the needy, nice person yourself. You have to deliver yourself. This is the only way it works. It sucks, but it is what it is. But it's not something that you should force. You should just start to work out, eat healthy, have your environment clean. This is the basic thing you have to do. When you have this shit together, everything else in your life will work out in a way, because when you have a tidy environment, it's not just the tidy environment yourself, that you have a much clearer mind and you're much more focused in your life. And there's a lot of other stuff about this. There are a lot of books about this. I want to read those books too. It's not just that, it's also that at that moment we choose to take our time. It takes time. And this is like the thing. A lot of times we think about it and we think like, oh, I have to draw now. I want to do a project now, but now I have to work out. It takes time to do that, and I'm losing time on something else. It's not true. Because if you're spending the time on that, it means that you don't have as much time for your project anymore. But the moment you are going back to your project, you will be a much more clearer mind, so you probably get it faster done. But you're also creating momentum, because nobody really cares about you being a crazy, oversharing, productive person that is just sharing. People are fine with momentum. So, for example, if I would when I work out in my life and I clean my apartment, I have less time. I do that. I have less time in working on my manga. Of course, I could think if I work less on my manga, well, that could mean that people are forgetting about me and they're not reading it anymore. But that's not true. Because the moment I go back to it, when I cleaned everything and when I worked out, got outside, did my other job, whatever, then I approach it in another way. I have another approach to it. My art will be probably better. But that's not the only thing. When people feel and I don't think it's not like people think not conscious about this, but waiting for the chapter a little bit longer is something that you have to accept, because it's just the only way someone can have a realistic, healthy life. And if it's done in a healthy way, I think it will be a better project, and people are also, there's a certain momentum created, because the project gets more quality because it's created by a person that needs breaks to do something else in their lives. But it also means when the project comes out, it naturally creates more momentum because people have to wait for it longer. But that means also those people waiting, it has an influence on them in a way that they could realize, maybe I shouldn't just wait on this chapter, but maybe this author, I should work out and I should keep my life done. And when the chapter should come out, they may be inspired by you when you tell them how you'll do your life with simple things like working out. I mean, most people clean their houses, but not everybody's working out. So I'm taking this example now, and you inspire a certain kind of you inspire the same kind of people. I'm convinced by this. If you work out, I think you attract more people that work out to you, because your stories will be more about, maybe influenced by working out. I don't mean that you talk about working out, but your stories will be different, So back to this person, you taking more space from this person, that means you will be more interesting. And this is what I want you to say. If someone is not running after us and someone is not coming off as needy, they're much more attractive to us. This is just how it is. Someone who is more distant is more attractive to us. It's for most people. And this is something I see that sometimes on videos from people that talk about this whole thing, this dating dynamic. People then say in the comment section stuff like, but I want to be myself. I'm not a distant person. I'm a warm person. I want to be myself. This is not really about you being yourself. You being distant, it can be a personality trait, but it can also just the acts you do. It can be more of an act than of a real personality trait. Some people are more distant, some people are less distant. But you choosing your life and taking time for yourself that everybody has to do. So taking time for yourself means working out, sleeping enough, keeping your house tidy, and going to work, having a job. When you are working, you can't write to someone. So if you have those things in your life, and not everybody has those things in their lives, you're not having all the time on your phone. So you already create distance. And that makes you a more distant person. And that is not really about you being a certain someone. This is just something that on the long run is a realistic life that everybody chooses, because we all have to treat ourselves in a serious matter. We have to be disciplined and focused with ourselves. So it's not really about you being yourself in a certain way. You can be a warm person. I think a personality trait is more than, you can't just describe a person as distant. There is more to a person and to a character than just being distant. But in the whole dating game, I think being distant is something that always gives you, there is a reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe there are books about this. I would be really invested in reading this. But there is a reason why we like to chase people that are distant. And I'm not talking about toxic distant. I'm talking about distance in general, It's something we don't get so easily in our lives. And nobody wants something that is easily... We are just not the kind of people who want stuff in our life in an easy way. And I think it's the reason why most people are not attracted to that, It's not just the taste you have. I don't think that. I mean, we see that all the time. Baddie. It's a term, The bad guy. Women love this kind of guy, And the important thing is, and this is what dating experts also say, I feel this was kind of a guilty pleasure to watch dating videos. I always felt horrible about it, because I was like, what am I fucking doing? Why am I watching this? I watched this to a time where I was really fucking depressed with my life. I'm much better now. I have my shit more together. But that was to a time where I felt really... I was also kind of this needy person, So I consumed a lot of content to figure my life out. And I felt really bad about it, because I was like, dating advice is nonsense. But the more you watch those videos, of course there are shitty people out there online, but who just want to sell their lessons. But there are certain kind of people where you listen to them, you realize that it's more like a life advice than dating advice. When it's a good dating coach, it is... I don't pay on those lessons, of course, but when you are listening to someone and they give advice that feels like a life advice, then there is something good about it. And something some of them said was, you shouldn't create this momentum on force. What you should do is getting your life together, because then it comes natural. And when you realize that, it's pretty simply done. It's something that we have to do. What means that a lot of people apparently don't have their life together. And it already shows that so many people procrastinate, so many people hang too much on social media, too many people don't really get their projects done. People are declining in health because they're not working out. If you take time for yourself to go to the gym, you're already creating distance in a natural way, because you are going to the gym and you don't have time to text, and you're taking care of your health and your mind. So it's not really, you shouldn't just write someone, be like, okay, for the next 2 hours I'm not gonna write, and I just sit there in my room waiting for the next 2 hours to pass, then I can write back. No, like, you should do stuff you should have something to do in your day, that you don't have to think like that. When you don't have that, well, then you don't really have anything interesting to offer to this other person. Someone of the dating coaches said, we want people in our lives that have something exciting in their life going on. And with that, you don't have to be like a crazy influencer that has a lot of money and can travel to a lot of places. I think people think that. That's not true. We just want somebody. I don't think this is needed I think people think that, but this is not true. We just want somebody with a passion and somebody that is excited and happy. And if you are, even if you're like just cooking healthy meals for yourself and you're taking time to search for recipes that are healthy, and then you have to go to a special Asia grocery store to buy special products to make a special kind of meal, this is already a nice story to tell, and the right person will like to listen to you, because you can tell them their excitement. Yo, I did this really nice meal and it was really healthy and there's a lot of nutrition, and you are so excited about it. It's a simple thing you do, but when you're taking your time into it and it doesn't cost you a lot of money, you can be excited about it, and you will become a certain kind of person that is just wholesome to talk to. Okay, now I got in a totally another direction. What I just wanted to say, those simple things that feel like meaningless, that feel like it is a necessity, but you don't want to do it because it feels like there is no like meaningful thing on you. It's not like reading a book. Those things have an influence on everybody, because you talking to someone with a totally another mindset makes a difference. When you are having your life together, you're approaching your friends in a totally another way. You're sharing other thoughts with them. You are yeah, it's like you approach people in another way. So sometimes I have those moments where like do something that I have to do, like for example buying groceries, and then when I go out and I buy and I go on my way to the grocery store, sometimes to make myself a little bit more excited and happy about it. And this is like the coolest thing, when you can make yourself excited about the simple things in life. This is the most amazing thing you can do when you are smart. So sometimes when I'm going to the grocery store, I think like, in the long run, what big of an impact does it make it that I'm now going to the grocery store? So first thing, I'm going outside. I'm passing certain people. We not may consciously recognize each other, but you still pass people. And sometimes it happens that I meet certain people of the neighborhood through the same time. So those people you remember people that you keep passing, And you question yourself sometimes, what is this person doing in their life? So it is a difference already. The time I'm going out to the grocery store, I already talked about that. But also, when I choose to buy something healthy, well, it makes me a healthier person in the long run. And it it makes me having less stress with health issues when I'm older. And like, it is so much more. It is so much more. It's hard for me to talk about this all, but um every time I go out to the grocery store, I feel like I'm having an influence on everybody on earth. I'm not joking around. I think doing those little steps outside make a difference because you are in a momentum of getting stuff. You get stuff done. You know, you don't choose to order some. I don't ever let something delivered to my house, but you choose to take a walk outside and not choose to deliver it to your home. That is already a different kind of life, and you pass different kind of people, and you are in a certain kind of circle of people, and in the long run it makes you a different kind of person. Even fucking grocery shopping. I'm not making jokes here. I think there's more to that than we believe. Because some people don't even can't do that. They get everything. I'm not talking about like getting stuff delivered when you have a lot of money and you actually can get healthy groceries delivered to your house. I would do that if I had more money because then I would spare the time. But this is also the thing. When you have so much money that you can spare that time, that means you are kind of on the next level of having that time instead of grocery shopping to do something else with it. And that means you are not there at that place anymore where you are not those kind of people that meet other. It's not like we meet people in a grocery store, but imagine you are in a grocery store and you want to get a certain kind of product and there's someone standing in front of you and they can't get a product. This person has a small influence on us. And if this person wouldn't have chosen to go to that place to buy the exact same product as you now, because they were too lazy to go to the grocery store, um, or like they would have done it on another kind of time, they would not stand there and annoy you. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing, but I think it makes a difference. I feel like I can't really put it into words, but I feel like I. You can tell me I'm disillusional, but I don't give a fuck right now. When I'm grocery shopping, I feel like I'm changing the world for the better. Like I feel like I'm like I'm making an influence on everybody. This is how I feel like, and you don't get me out of the zone because it keeps me be more motivated. You know, and I don't care if this is disillusion. I don't think it's that. I feel like it is not that disillusional because you are doing a certain task. I mean, you have to go grocery shopping because you need food in your house. But like, it's a difference if you choose to go grocery shopping and buy healthy stuff for yourself, and you're choosing to consume healthy stuff, or if you are going to McDonald's instead and buy something for a higher price that is unhealthy. You know? Maybe the person at the McDonald's place recognizes you if you go there too often. I don't do that, but like in general, they will recognize you. You know, when I go regular to a coffee shop, they recognize me already. I go there pretty often to a coffee place where I drink coffee, and they recognize me. You know, so um, and even like if you go to a certain grocery store often and you see like I don't know what is going on with people who buy like I don't think the people I don't mean that the people at the grocery store they pay attention to what you buy. I don't think I don't know. But this is already a difference. It is a bigger difference than you might think. and it makes you a certain kind of person. And I truly think it has a bigger impact than everybody thinks. And now think about it in a bigger thing, bigger like a bigger impact. You're not just grocery shopping, you're also like hopefully working out, working, going outside to meet people. You all do all those things, and all those small things you do make you a certain kind of person and make a difference how you approach people, and also make a difference how you impact you people around you and how they impact other people. I truly think that is. And the best example is how you are on social media. The more people are clicking on a post, the more the algorithm will put it up, and the more people see the certain kind of post. If you are a productive person and you're getting your grocery shopping done to a certain amount of time, then you feel less stressed out because there were not a lot of people at the store. That means you feel better, and when you feel better, you'll unlikely be so much on social media. So certain stuff on social media may not get as much clicks as it would get when there would be more people on social media. And social media is influencing all of us, but we are also influencing social media, everybody of us. And social media connects everybody in the world. But I don't think it's even only social media. I think it's every person. I don't even want to say every person we pass, because, like, as I said, we pass strangers, but we don't really have impact on them. That much I would say. I don't think that really. I don't know what is going there subconsciously, but I don't really want to say that. But like with people that we know, and those people know people, and then they know people from another country. Like, what if one friend knows someone from America, and they phone with each other sometimes? This person in America is influencing other people in America. So everybody knows someone from another place in the world, most sometimes, and so we are all influencing even people from another country in a way. By just purely existing. I don't mean by breathing, I don't mean you just stand there and you breathe and your breathing is influencing someone. I don't mean that, but I think the small changes have an impact on everybody. And what I mean with that can make you feel good, because it can give you more productivity in your life, because you feel like everything that you do has more meaning than you actually think, and it gives more meaning on your life, and you give those small things more meaning, so you will be more happy about doing them and get those things done, and you will be a more happier person, you will be a more productive person, you will create stuff that has probably a big impact on people. And this is me doing this video right now. And I know I'm just influencing like 3 people on social media, but I influence 3 people on social media. Some people don't influence anyone on social media. So I already had an impact on people, because I got to that point to realize that, because I made certain changes in my life to realize that. So I developed to a certain kind of person to impact more people than other people would do. Some people upload on YouTube and they get 0 views. So I'm already more out there than those people. It's like a level system. You have to understand on which level you are. And you may realize you're already farther than someone else. You already did enough stuff in your life that you're farther than someone else. And that means you have a bigger impact than somebody else. And that's a cool thing. And I think I don't think a lot of people want impact on the life, but it helps me to know that I have a bigger impact on people than I think. Even the small things. And it starts with you counting the exact number of the price your groceries cost to give the grocery store person the right. This is already a difference, because people, like, I don't know, I notice it when people stress out when they just want to get the right money there pretty easily. Like, I notice those people. And you don't have to get you should, and it's a task you have to learn, because you have to get used to counting the money. You're not used to that at the beginning, but the more you do it, you get used to it, and you have to get into this momentum of like not having anxiety and just standing there and taking your time to put the money there. And the more you do it, the more you're getting used to it, and it makes you a different person, because at the beginning you would care about it, but after a while you don't care about it. And I know people, I was buying groceries with them, and then they just went really quickly because they didn't want it to let the grocery person that takes care of the money, I don't know how to say that name, sorry, waiting. And they were like giving them, they had a bunch of money with them, and I was like, damn, you have to give them the small money. They need the small cents, You have too much money in your bag right now. What is going on? Like, yeah, and it is a bigger difference than you think. And you do that every day, so those little changes count every fucking day. It's not just one little thing you do. It's like the small things you do that count together as a big number. And it's you cleaning your room, it's you working out, it's you going grocery shopping to effective times, it's you what you grocery shop. What you consume is influencing everybody, because the more unhealthy people a country has because they don't eat healthy, the more money people have to pay for healthcare, the higher taxes get, and the less productive people a country has, Yeah. Watch documentaries about, like, McDonald's being in India, because people in industry nations like Germany become so conscious about eating healthy that McDonald's doesn't get enough money in Germany anymore, so they go to India to sell their products there, because there most people are not really like aware. Like, India has a lot of healthy food, but they're not so aware of like about health, so they tend to eat a lot of more like McDonald's stuff there. I saw a documentary about this, because they don't know actually what they're much more better, like, you can sell them easier to buy this stuff, even though it's fucking unhealthy. And it is because a lot of people in Germany, for example, choose to don't buy McDonald's over the last years. It was a documentary from like 2 years ago or something. Because more people choose to be healthy. So more people choose to be healthy, that makes a difference for a big company like McDonald's to control people on the other place of the planet, on another place of the planet, and yeah. And I don't say that to you to change the world. I say that you start to realize that you have a bigger meaning in life, And those small things have a meaning in life. And if you have those small things together, because it can be depressing to clean your house sometimes. I know that myself. But if you approach it like, hey, if I clean my house regularly, and if I keep everything tidy, then I will be more productive and I will be more like, I will have a healthier mindset in my life. I will be lesser depressed. Then if you do that over time, you become a certain kind of person. And it is a small change that will make you another person on the long run. And you being another person means that in 5 years, you are a certain kind of person that inspires maybe other people, that you never could have been when you wouldn't get your ass up and work out or keep your desk tidy or something. Yeah. So, and I think the best thing I can say is like the impact you have on others, because other people have probably the biggest meaning for us. Who we date, who we love, who we have as friends, those people are meaningful in our lives. So how can I connect keeping my desk tidy to people who have a meaning in my life? Well, if you keep your desk tidy, you have to take time to get your desk tidy, but it also shows other people that you are a structured person and they want to talk to you more, because you are how do you say this? You are giving positive energy from yourself. And if you have positive energy, you are a good person and you will attract the right. Positive energy is the best thing. And this is what I also think. I think people shouldn't really care about how long their texts are, you know? I think because like you can't force positive energy without being positive, and I think people sense that. If you pretend to be a happy person but you're not, people feel that. I think that, even if you're just texting with each other. But if you really are a positive person because you have your life you live your life in a balanced way, you are giving true positive energy off, and then you don't have to care about, oh, was my message too long? Because I think that stuff doesn't matter anymore. You will be not even that invested in texting that much anymore because you have so much going on in your life that you don't really want to do that, you know? Because there's so much other stuff you want to invest in. And the other thing is, I think the most stressful thing about this is becoming a positive person. Yeah, I'm not at that state yet, you may say. And this is the whole thing. The negative things have meaning as well. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing mistakes, because those mistakes are not failures. It's just part of the process. And think about it like that. If I say something in a video, I would say it another way because I would have been a more evolved person, but instead I say it in the way I say it. And if I had done more things in my life, I would have said it in another way, in a more intelligent way. Me saying it in that way will probably lead, chances are much higher it will just lead to a momentum where people will reply to me and give me like advice. And then I get their advice, and this is all right. I could have been the right of sorry, I want to talk in German, and I can't, and it's so hard sometimes. I could have been the person who inspired those people, and maybe those people, I don't want to say those people have me in a more negative view. I don't think that. I think probably maybe it would make them more excited and more like invested, and they would share it more if I would have a more smarter inspirational quote. But instead, if I need help, then I get help from people, and it's still a process. Those people still influence me in a way, and I'm still connected with the world in a way. You are still connected with the world even when the outcome is not 100% the best version you could have been. You are in a learning process, and if you are in a learning process, you are still connected. You are just on another level. It's hard for me to explain it, but I think you have to realize that, because it means that because I think the biggest struggle is for people becoming a good, positive person when you are having so many negative things in your life, and then you do more negative things, because becoming positive is a struggle that feels so overwhelming. Just do the stuff you can do at the moment. And don't stress out about going on social media. I don't do that. And actually, that I don't stress out about going on social media sometimes was the best way for me to actually go less on social media, because I don't care about it anymore. And it got me to a point that I just accept stuff. You know? I was laying in my bed today for such a long time, but I don't feel bad about it anymore, because I was like, I just took it easy, and I was like, maybe my body needed it now. When I go on social media, sometimes I'm like, I just want to be here right now. And when I be like that, then I'm really short. Then I'm for a really short time on social media, because I just let myself be there. I don't force myself to not be there. If I force it, then I will be much longer on there. And I feel like I have a stoic mindset to that doesn't really matter that I'm there. And when I am there, life will guide me to the right way, that I will be back on my track. And this is the only thing I think. And that kept me to the moment that I stopped, that I'm almost not on social media anymore, like on like Instagram, because I don't force productivity. You shouldn't force productivity on your mindset, because you can't force stuff on your. Force doesn't feel happy, and you have to get into a healthy mindset, into a happy mindset, to actually get that stuff done. You have to become a happy person to get stuff done. And I don't mean with happy that you are always excited about stuff, but happy in a way that you just focus and get it done. And you shouldn't force stuff and fight. I mean, of course, okay, I say that. I also have to do stuff that I'm like, I have to do, like, I don't know, like programming, you know? But I get myself in the mindset that I find reason why I should do it, and I find reason so much that I think the moment I'm starting to program, I'm kind of excited of doing it, because I feel like in my head I'm just making myself happy with the thought of reason I have for it. And that reason just keeps me moving forward. And then I'm not like a crazy happy person, but I'm so happy in my mind that I'm just focused, and that's enough for me to just program and get through it. And I can tell you, and this is something that is actually proven by science, by a brain scientologist, that a happy brain works better and learns faster and learns more effective. You remember stuff better when your brain is doing something that you want to do, so you have to find reason in your brain that makes you happy. Yeah. And you sometimes have to have small like thought processes to make yourself excited about stuff. This is truly what I think. I am not a scientist. I don't care. Okay. I don't want to say anything anymore. I don't want to talk about likes for the video and stuff because I'm too lazy for that. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm sometimes like I'm too lazy for that. I don't want to do that now. I don't give a fuck. Sometimes admitting that you're lazy and just not caring about it is a little trick you can have in your mind to actually be less lazy. You know, the lazier I became, the more productive I became to the moment that I'm not lazy anymore. It's yeah, procrastinating is a lot about how you trick your mind. We procrastinate because we think something is so hard. Instead of just getting into the process and developing skills over the process and not caring too much of the end goal, but instead learning over the process and being good already when you are in the process. You're already good enough, probably, but you still think you have to do more. And that's what keeps you procrastinating. And even if you procrastinate, stop judging yourself so much and just accept that you procrastinate. That will get you out of procrastinating instead of sitting there and thinking about the procrastinated time you already wasted because you can't get that time back. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a psychological thing you have to do in your brain, you know? And you are able to do that when you are working out, when you are eating healthy, when you are getting fresh air every fucking day. Then you are able to have thoughts. You can just create thoughts like this if you were like having a healthy brain. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much. Goodbye.